Right. Today is 2nd of July. I haven't done any videos for a while simply because I just felt very low in energy field, and it's explainable because of all the planetary aspects at the moment. And on 4th to 5th July, around that time, there will be lunar eclipse, third eclipse in a really short while, so it does affect energy big time. And I did have topics what I wanted to talk, but I just didn't feel that I capable of doing it. Felt like I can't even put my thoughts together and things like that. So even today I woke up and I had pretty low energy level. I felt quite tearful and just didn't feel really great. So, but, and simply because when I was going through YouTube channels, I can see that most of the empathic readers, they have gone silent simply because they feel this energy impact big time as well. So I literally was browsing through and accidentally I saw Twin Flame weekly checkup on Twin Flame energies. So I thought, just out of the curiosity, I will look at it and just to see if energies are the same as some maybe other readers are saying. So reading itself was more or less the same, and it did show what I already have heard before, but that's not about that. That reading made me a little frustrated. I don't know, frustrated, just it felt like I came across the reader once again. As much as her reading was precise in energy reads, but what made me a little fuming was that she gave mixed signals, mixed advices, meaning like she gives like a good reading with very good explanation of energies, but she started to give advices what seemed like, hold on, do you even understand what is twin flames? Do you really understand how it works? I mean, like, of course everyone's journey is different, but the fact, okay, let's start with that. She said, I have a link down below where you can see all the stages or symptoms if you are in a twin flame connection, la la la, everything is fine. And I thought I would just have a look what's in there, because it's like, as much as everyone is on different journeys, and twin flame journey is completely unique to everyone, but most common, like, there's like symptoms how you can see if you have a twin flame connection or things, or like stages in twin flame journey, more or less are the same, of course with some exceptions. But let's start that. Her messages were quite, in a way, misleading. I mean, one thing what made me like really, I can't even explain what it seemed like. Do you really understood what you just said, you know? She said twin flames is one soul split in two halves. What is even that? Even the name twin flame means it's a twin. Everyone has their own soul. Soul can't be split in two parts. simply because soul is soul. Every person has their own soul. Twin flame, what is twin? Like in a real life, if you say twin brother, twin sister, are they like one person split in half? No, it means they look exactly the same. It's like a mirror. Twin flames are when two souls are mirroring each other. It's not split soul in two. It was just like, why are you saying it seemed like she has grabbed things from many different religious beliefs and put in one. That it was like, are you even yourself on a twin flame journey to understand what you are talking about? That just made me question. It seemed like, because she was like even advertising, yeah, if you want to see your personal situation on twin flame journey, you can private reads and blah blah blah. I understand, yeah, you are a tarot reader, you want to earn money, you want to get more something out of it, but it made me question, what sort of advices are you giving if you don't even understand simple thing? And there was another thing what she said, and it was like really, hold on, I will find where she, oh yeah, so she said at some point when she was reading, because there is like in like stages what twin flames are going through. She said, yes, I can see you are on surrender stage. Keep on visualizing how, like, don't get into low vibrational energy, don't keep your vibration high, and visualize how you are together with your twin. Excuse me, that's not the point of being in twin flame journey. Even though she said few good things, but it seemed like she is, in one moment she's saying like really nice thing, like how it is, and then in the next moment she says completely absurd thing, and it's like, do you even think what you say on that moment? Have you actually thought before what you were what you were gonna say? Visualizing, seriously, visualizing. She said visualize how you are together, how you are spending time, and how you love each other. Visualizing, I can tell you what visualizing do. When back years ago, when first time we separated, and that's when I was visualizing. Yeah, I was sitting and visualizing how he loves me, how we will be together, how we will be whatever else. You know what does it do? It makes you stuck, and it, instead of progress, it makes you regress big time. So basically from that surrender stage, by visualizing whatever you visualize, you will gonna go back to crisis or running chaser stage. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Visualizations, it's, you can visualize how you send good energy to your twin. Visualization can be how you send your love to your twin so they can heal quicker and everything. But the last stage, this union stage, is more about you finding peace in yourself, even if you will not gonna get in union with your twin flame, because you never know at what stage your twin flame soul is on that moment. It can even never happen that you will gonna be in union again, simply because they probably are in completely different stage from you. As much as you, she says, do the work, heal yourself. Yeah, do the work, heal yourself, but don't visualize things, because that's living in illusions. That's not, you know how they say, yeah, affirmations, seriously can't even talk, visualizations and affirmations. Yeah, you can do that, but not with a particular person. It doesn't work that way. If you were gonna meant to be together, you will be together, but not by visualizing something in your head, simply because that is living in illusion. And that just made me so, I even can't explain how I felt. It was like I was just sitting and thinking, what the F is that? In one moment you say correct thing, how this twin flame journey works. It's about making yourself healed from everything, moving on, getting better person and everything else, and then in the next moment you are saying complete crap. That just like, it was like, how the hell? Ugh, seriously. Right, rant over. In that case, because when I looked at these symptoms, there were like basically most of the symptoms what I already mentioned when I was trying to explain how you can recognize if you are in a twin flame journey. But there was like interesting thing, like first thing was like intuitively knowing what other person doing, feeling, thinking. That's what I told you. That's like this mirroring your twin flame's energy, like in other video when I said that I'm mirroring him. That is how it happens. It's just like you just feel, and you can't even explain, but you do feel that. But the next point was that made me like a little bit like that's not twin flame journey symptom. Sharing this many of the same interests. I'm sorry, I had people in my life with whom I shared many the same interests. They were not my twin flames. Quite often it's not so much, because any person with whom you connect or whom you meet, even like you can meet people with whom you have many the same interests, but in the same time you have no connection at all. It's not one of the symptoms of twin flame. That's a casual symptom with anyone with whom you could connect or meet or date or even be at work. That's not a symptom, not at all. The same thing, often having the same emotions at the same time. This is the same, basically that is the same thing what was the first point. It's like a mirroring thing. It doesn't mean, like if you are in union, then at least you can know that, you can compare that, but it's like, this is just like on empathic intuition level, when you just feel how your twin flame is feeling. Feeling a strong physical pull. That was what I told you, that when I met Shane, it was like really, I couldn't even explain why, but I was so drawn to him that I really wanted to see him, to meet him. It was like, and we met quite often. We literally, as much as it was possible, we were meeting even for 5 minutes a day, just to be physically close on that moment. Having same dream at the night. Well, this is quite tricky thing, simply because many people just don't remember their dreams, or they wake up and said I didn't have any dreams, whenever they just don't remember the dreams. So you can't really prove that. It's like only if it's like really strong, you both see the same and you share. But quite often people don't pay attention to the dreams at all. So if you are not in the really that into that dream world, then you don't know that, so you can't really take it as a biggest symptom. Feeling you can easily communicate without speaking out loud. This is another thing where I said that it was like sometimes you could finish each other's sentences, and sometimes we even didn't have to talk. We just knew what other person is thinking. We just needed to look at each other, and we were like already, yeah, we knew what other person is thinking, or what, in which mood the other person is. And I remember as now, I even just wrote a message, and there was like one of the emojis in the end with a smile, but he straight away sensed that I'm not actually smiling, that I don't feel great. And the same when he was quite often writing me messages, and I said, you actually don't feel that way. And he was like, yeah, I know. And so this is where you actually can sense without words. You just sense how the other person is feeling regarding whatever. Understanding complex or hidden parts of each other. This is where I said that when we shared many things, it's just like, you know, when you start to know someone and you speak about the past or about whatever, like, things, this is the thing, it's like I realized that many things I sort of, instead of judging, like, you know how sometimes you're like, no, how, why, you know, whatever he told me about his life, I never felt urge even to judge or criticize on that moment, simply because it felt like, I get it how you felt, because it's like, again, the same thing. It's like you sense from what part all these things were coming. It's not like you can even explain how that feels. It's just like you just understand how they feel. Even if they don't understand how they feel, sometimes you understand it for whichever reason. Sharing same vulnerabilities and weaknesses, that is most common thing as well, but that, again, that could be in any connection, whereas like it can be even in a soul connection. It's like people meet for a reason, like I said, and especially twin flames, when they meet, it's like when their journey starts, quite often it's all about changing you, how you are on that very moment. So probably when you meet your twin, you will not be awakened or on a high vibration or something. You probably will be vulnerable, weak, and with your demons and with your ego problems and everything else. So that's sort of it. It's just the fact that you understand that you have these things. So, and yeah, and the last one is quite strong. Feeling like it's safe and natural to be your authentic self around each other. This is one thing, and even he said the same, at that, like, it felt like no matter how we are, we can express it and we can talk about it, and it's like with no judgment. We could be just the way we were, and even we could whinge, yeah, I'm this or that, but then in the same time it felt that he was the only one who actually knew me, like exactly the way I am. Usually we put on a little mask in society for whichever reason, because we are not ready to open up to anyone like fully, but to him I have been everything I could be, everything literally. And I know he has been the way how he was. I know he has been afterwards, just when he got into runner chaser stage, yeah, he became more closed off, but that's already different. That's one of the parts of the journey. So for those who are maybe interested a little bit more about twin flame stages, there are 7 stages. Well, how it's written, so I will just sort of read and I will explain. The first part is search. It means like when you haven't met yet. The thing is, search, it doesn't mean that you go and search for your twin flame or just seek around, but this is the part where you sort of, you meet up with people, you have been in relationships and something else, but somewhere deep inside you feel that they are not the one. See, the thing is, like, for instance, with me, I always said I will not ever get married because I don't believe in marriage. And it's clear example with me how universe did the job so I actually meet my twin flame, because all the circumstances, I lived completely in different country, but everything how it happened with me in my life led me to the point that I actually will gonna meet him. So and then is the second stage, awakening. It's when you actually meet your twin flame. Quite often, well, if you are lucky enough to meet them, because see, as there was like one of the readers said, quite often what happens, because twin flame can be anyone, not just romantic, like that lady, she tried to basically say that only twin flames are in a romantic stage or whatever. But the thing is, because twin flame can be anyone, it can be friend, it can be even family, or how she said, it can be even the soul what is not even on this earth. So this is another reason why you shouldn't even think about union. It's about you healing yourself. But awakening, yeah, so basically when I met him, and there was like written on that stage, it's like hits you head on, and quite often it's coincidence and meeting, and you are shaken by the intensity of bond you feel. You are occupied with the thoughts about the person. Remember, if you would look back when I spoke how I met Shane, this is what I actually was saying. And it's interesting because I was saying that in previous videos, but I just read these stages and how they were described. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, remember I said I felt like adrenaline kick when we spoke. We only had a small chat and I had this adrenaline kick that was like, I was so shaken by all that, and I was so occupied with the thoughts that I want to meet him, I want to see he, but it's like, it's just so unexplainable, so it's like really hard to understand. And coincidence and meeting, who would have thought I will meet him as my bus driver back then? Who would have think about it? Definitely not me. So the next stage, the third one, is the test. It's basically, the test starts at the point, it's like you have this pink glasses stage, honeymoon phase, or how they call. For us, it was happening quite quickly. I don't know, was it because we met that late or for whichever reason, but the honeymoon stage was like literally going really fast. And during that, and there was honeymoon, and then straight after there was already all these, like how I said, that would be a karmic tests for both of us, how much we could establish boundaries, testing our limitations, and engaging in conflicts, and how we were solving that. So literally during that short moment, our karma checked on her list what we have to work on, both of us, because we were so unawakened in us. The only thing what I realized, that it's like, it's a changing point for me. It's a changing point for me in my life. Quite possible it was changing point in Shane's life too. The only difference is simply because one thing is when you are in separation, you just don't know what other person is doing, and how they work on themselves and what they work on themselves and how they actually understand whatever. So then comes crisis stage. It's like during that stage, you start to get with these bigger problems. It's like there's anxiety and worries about the bond. If we will gonna separate, will we come back together? Is our strong and love enough strong? And then grief comes in about whatever, and betrayal happens. And then when this, like most of the time, separation happens for whichever reason. Is it like one of the person betrays you and that's why you separate, or is it like decision from both of you that you need to separate, or maybe decision only from one person that you need to separate? Whichever way it is, it's like most of the time, in that moment, both of the parts are struggling with a self-love, because whatever decision is made, it's like you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself enough. So that often leads to separation. And let's be honest, most of the time the separation is in no contact. Rarely it's in a contact, but then if it's in a contact, most likely one of the persons will be like in this energy hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and that will gonna make everything even more difficult. So, and then starts the fifth stage, runner chaser. In my case, I was the chaser and Shane was the runner. And runner is usually who is a little intimidated by other person and by the intensity, how they are. And chaser is the one who is trying to do everything to save this relationship. That's definitely me. I'm always I try always to do everything just to save the world and everything else. But yeah, but that's like when you are in this runner chaser dynamic, quite often that made me look at myself as well. It's like that's when I realized about my control issues and about everything. And he, as a runner, I have no idea how he felt and what he was thinking, because that's only in other person's head. And the sixth stage is surrender. Surrendering already happens when you have done pretty much work on yourself. You sort of go to the stage, you let go of control, whatever will happen, and you sort of like carry on with your everyday life and try not to concentrate or try not to even think about it. And that's where that reader said, oh, when you will be in a surrender stage, that's afterwards when union will gonna come. Well, no. That's like a spoiler alert. No. Surrendering, it means that you don't cling on something. You just live your life. You try to heal and make yourself better, but you don't think about this connection as much. You, not like you don't think, because you will always feel that connection. I mean, you are just not making your life only on hold for this connection anymore. So reunion and joining, this is quite tricky thing, simply because I did have reunion with Shane for a brief moment, but this is the thing. If one of the persons haven't healed or done the work, or both of them, sorry, I want to sneeze. So if one of the persons or both of the persons haven't done proper job, most likely you will gonna go back into separation again, because old things will gonna come to the surface again. So the fact why it's easy for me to explain that, simply because when we got in a reunion, and I don't mean romantic, we were just like as a friends reunited. The thing is, only during that time I found out that I actually am on this twin flame journey. And to be fair, the most proper work on myself, and especially on my healing and my ego issues and my control issues, I only started to do, I think, since this year's approximately Valentine's Day, since February, around that time, because that was the only moment when I actually started to dig enough deep to understand why am I not healed and why am I getting all the same crap in my life. See, the thing is, and the thing is, like, before we separated last time, once again, this is the point. At first it was fine, and then again it started to become as a runner chaser dynamic. So we joined and we jumped back to crisis stage, running chasing stage, and then in this dynamic, that's when I started to only heal myself. So that's just a proving point. It doesn't matter. You will gonna be in union. Have you done enough work? But then again, as for this moment, what I can say, I have done a lot of work on myself, and I still work on myself because I know that still many things are triggering me, and I'm trying to heal that, and I try to forgive things, and I try to understand things and everything else. But then again, let's put it that way, if we were gonna go back to union, where is the, like, how am I supposed to know what he has done during this time while we didn't communicate, while we haven't done? Maybe he has gone through certain karmic lessons, but still it doesn't mean that he has done work on forgiveness, on healing his childhood trauma and childhood issues, or whichever else, betrayal issues, whichever issues. And if he hasn't done the work, you don't want to be in union with someone who is still so broken. You don't want that. And the thing is, like, the longer it takes for you or the other person to heal, the longer the surrender part will gonna take. So quite often that union will not gonna happen because maybe the other person is not doing enough work. So how they can, it's like, yeah, in ideal world that what would happen and you would live happily ever after. No, it's not a Cinderella story. It's actually a story about hard work on yourself. And then that lady said, walk away from your emotions. No, it's not walking away from your emotions. You can't change that you feel this unconditional love to that person. You just love them. You don't have to walk away from your feelings. You have to walk away from your ego. You have to walk away from your control issues and this visualization. Walk away from those unhealthy things. Don't walk away from your emotions. No one said you have to become cold-hearted and don't feel anything. That will not gonna do any good. You just have to be in peace. You have to feel emotions. You can't expect someone to come to you when you will be off your emotions. That will not gonna heal you. You have to feel that emotion. You have to live through that emotion. That will be one of the parts of, like, grief, how you will gonna let go everything out of you. Purge that. Purge all those feelings. You are human. You can't just walk away from your feelings. Purge it. Heal it. Don't walk away. Actually explore why you feel that way. And then maybe you will gonna have these answers. And if union will happen, great. That's a bonus. And if the union will be successful, even better. But don't do anything during your healing or working on yourself with the idea that you will gonna, just because you did the work, now you are in surrender stage, now you will gonna get your twin flame back in union. Don't cling on that. Don't. We are not, we don't live forever. We don't know what can happen tomorrow, so you can't rely on that. But don't stop working on yourself, because if you are gonna do something just for a simple fact, I'm doing this so I can get in union, then it's a wrong reason for that. You have to work on yourself just because you want to be a better person and you want to heal yourself from everything what's in your life has happened. That should be the main reason why you work on yourself and why you actually got on this twin flame journey. So, right, I think I said it all in this about twin flames, and once again. So I hope to see you in the next video, and have a good day or night.